chef of the future. How you doing, guys? So over the years, I get a lot of requests for my thin crust New York style pizza dough recipe. Given it out a few times, but my recipe that I use every day is to make 7 balls of dough for 18-inch pies. That's a lot of dough. Anyway, I have it broken down for one pie, and we're gonna make it right here live on YouTube. So the first thing we have is the flour. All right, for New York style pizza, you want to use high gluten flour, the highest you could find. Anyway, this here is King Arthur Sir Lancelot, 14 grams of protein. So uh, you can't buy this in a 5 pound bag. You could buy it in 50 pound bags. The only other flour that I know of that's 14 grams of protein is, now I can't think of the name. Anyway, also 50 pound bags. If you're lucky enough to live near Long Island, near Jericho Turnpike, you could go to Sansone Foods, which is a great Italian food store, and they repack. So you could buy the Sir Lancelot for, I think they sell it in 10 pound bags. I used to go there all the time when I lived in Manhattan. Anyway, be that as it may, first thing we're going to use is high gluten flour. You could get away with King Arthur bread flour, which is 12 grams of protein. All right, so for here, this is for one 18-inch pie. What I'm going to do today, I'm going to break that one ball of dough into two, and I'm going to let Rosalie make her own pizza, and I'll make my son Dean make his own pizza too. So, high gluten flour, 294 grams. Get a pen, write this down, guys, because I'm not going to give out this recipe ever, never again. High gluten flour, 294 grams. Next on the agenda, whole grain semolina flour. All right, also, this is General Mills extra fancy, which means very fine semolina. Again, this is only sold in 50 pound bags. However, you could find small bags of this, not cheap, in any of those Italian brand flours, Caputo, I don't know all the names. Anyway, you're going to find it named as Semolina Ramacinata, which means twice ground. You don't want the semolina that looks like cornmeal. You want it fine like flour, like this. This is a beautiful flour, yellow, nice and fine. This is beautiful. Okay, so 10% semolina ramacinata. That's going to translate to 33 grams. Okay, so we have that in our bowl right here. I already have it mixed. Now, to that, we're going to add instant dry yeast. Very small amount, 0.25% of the total flour. 1 gram. It's supposed to be 0.82. I didn't feel like taking out my small scale today, so it's 1 gram of instant dry yeast. Diastatic malt powder. Diastatic malt powder, the easiest way to explain it is it's yeast food. You could just leave it out if you don't have it. If you happen to have it, if you bake with it, use it. It's only a small amount, 1%, 3 grams. Like I said, don't worry about it if you don't have it. Just leave it out. Sugar is another 1%, 3 grams. Okay, so that's what's in here. You have 3 things. You have your yeast, which is 0.25%, 1 gram, diastatic malt, 3 grams, sugar, 3 grams. We're going to pour that in with the flour. That's all together. Those things won't hurt each other. Mix it in. This way, when I put the salt in, it's not touching the yeast all by itself. Okay, so that's done. The next thing is salt. Salt is going to be 2% of the total flour. which translates to 6.35 grams. I put in 6 grams. Really, I should have put 7, but I'm trying to cut down on the salt, so every little bit helps, I guess. Pour the salt right on top of that. Mix it in. One thing I forgot, my Danish dough whisk. So we're going to whisk that in really good. Mix it up good. Get the semolina flour mixed in with the high gluten flour. Nicely done. All right, so the next ingredient is going to be plain, clean water. I use reverse osmosis filtered water because I'm here in Arizona and there's a lot of minerals in the water. The minerals actually don't hurt the fermentation or anything like that, but they don't taste too good. We use filtered water to drink with. That's what I use to bake with. I haven't had any problems. Works real well. So, New York style pizza dough is a low hydration dough as opposed to Neapolitan style, which is usually a high hydration dough. Anyway, New York style is a offshoot of Neapolitan. So this is low hydration. The water is 65% of the total flour. Every other ingredient is in relation to the flour. A flour is 100%. That's called the baker's percentage. That's a little too advanced for today's video, but you could keep it in mind. So the water is 65% of the total flour. For this recipe, formula, that translates to 212 grams. So we're going to pour that in. Before I do that, there's one other ingredient. Olive oil. It could be extra fancy, extra, what do they call it again? Anyway, olive oil. And the olive oil is 1%, so it's a big 3 grams. We're not going to put that in the beginning. We're going to wait till we get some strength in the dough. So I'm going to put the water in, and we're going to start mixing this up. That's it. That's all the ingredients. That's all you need, folks. That's all she wrote. So now we're going to mix this all together until it comes into a nice ball. Okay? All right. So this is good. My bride's making bacon for us. You want to come say hello to the people on YouTube land? After we have breakfast, we're going to go to where are we going? The ghost town. Yeah, to get our Goldfield Ghost Town to get a steel sculpture of a, what kind of bird are those again? Roadrunner for the yard. Roadrunner, the coyote's after you. All right, so this is looking good. Looks a little dry. However, we're going to keep mixing. Probably going to stick my clean hand in there now. All right, so now this is what I would call, if you ever heard the term, a raggedy dough. This is a raggedy dough. Let me get all the dry pieces off the side of this bowl. Get the remnants off of this whisk, which there's not much. I'm going to stick my hand in here. You see what that looks like? All right, that's a shaggy dough. That's the word I was looking for. And now we're going to put my hand in here. Just use the grandma method. Keep turning it over. Get all these dry pieces, push them in. Yeah, this is looking good. Now, before I forget, and before I go any further, let me get a little more strength in this. I want to build up a little more gluten before I add that oil. And then that oil will help get the rest of this incorporated. Yeah, this is nice. This is very nice. There we go. Let's get all these pieces incorporated. build a little bit of gluten in this flour, and then little by little we'll add in that tiny bit of olive oil. Extra virgin, that's the word I was looking for, extra virgin. My memory's going, guys. So write down this formula because I don't know how much longer I'm going to remember it. All right, nice. It's nice already. It's still a little shaggy, but it's really nice. You see that? It's getting really nice. Still needs a little more work, but we don't want to develop all the gluten right now. We just want a little bit. All right, so now we're going to pour in some olive oil. Actually, it's such a little bit. It's not a big formula. I'm going to pour it all in, and I'm going to fold it like a letter fold. All right, it's leaking out that side, so I'll fold this one. Then I'll fold this one. Then I'll fold this one. There we go. We'll fold it into the middle. Now, we'll just work it a little more. In a minute, I'm going to take it out of here. I'm going to take it out of this bowl. It's almost done. All right. Low hydration dough. Very easy to work with. A small amount like this, you don't need a mixer for sure. This is very easy. Look at that. Look how clean the bowl is. I'm not even going to wash it. Nah, just kidding. We'll wash it. All right. This is clean already, but I always do that anyway. So now, grandma method. Get that oil incorporated. Build up some more gluten. You want to start getting this nice and shiny. You'll notice that it changes. It's going to get more elastic. I don't use any more flour because it doesn't need it. It's very low hydration. You can see it's not sticking to my work surface. Sticking to my hand slightly. All right, that's good. Anyway, should I dust my hands with a little flour? I'm going to. Because this one's on top, so this is the one I'm going to use. Just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. We don't need a lot. Just a little on my hands so the dough don't stick. That's not going to hurt anything. All right, that's better. That's better. Let me move this out of the way so you can see. See how it's starting to get smooth and elastic? Beautiful. A little ball like this, what I do too, just bang it against the counter. Bang it against your work surface. All right, this is looking good. So with my pizza dough, I'm going to do this the same way that I do the big ones. This is great. It's not sticking to my hands anymore. This is basically ready. We'll roll it into a ball. All right, now, like I was saying, with my pizza dough, when I do the large 7-ball formula, there's no separate bulk fermentation. When it comes out of the mixer, I ball it. Should I eyeball it or should I weigh it? I'm just going to eyeball it for today. Now, we're going to weigh it. I like to be exact. You don't have to. You could just cut it in half. I'm just being a stickler. So now we have 551 grams. It's never going to be exactly the same as what your recipe is, even though the bowl was so clean. This is calling for 556. So I did pretty good. So now we have 551. I still got this cold. I can't kick this cold. I feel a lot better though. 551 divided by 2. 275.5. So 275. All right, let's take this off. All right, 275. Let's see how close we could get. $282. Not bad. Not too bad at all. 277. 276. Close enough for rock and roll. 275. Beauty. So now, the last step, this is going to have plenty of time to ferment. I might even have to put it in the refrigerator. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, now we're going to make a nice tight ball. And we're going to let it rise. These are ready to go. Once this is ready, the kids will make their own pizzas. I guess we'll make them about 12 inches. Should be good for a 12-inch pie. We'll see when we start rolling them out. All right. Get a little strength in here. There we go. There we go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. This is Will Falzone signing off from the East Valley, Arizona Sourdough Foundation.